Okay, so today I'm going to talk to you about how to conduct outreach. And most people, when they conduct outreach, they go to the outcome instead of going to the trigger. The outcome is where you want the person to already be. So, an example, you work in the finance industry, the outcome would be an emergency fund. So most people, when they get ready to conduct outreach, they're going to go to the search bar. They're going to type in emergency fund. When they type in emergency fund, it's immediately going to start bringing up people who do the same thing that this financial consultant, planner, budget coach, financial coach does. You want to go to the trigger event, the situation that triggers the need for your services in your business. So a situation of somebody who might need a budget coach is somebody that's living paycheck to paycheck, somebody that's constantly working, somebody that's constantly working overtime, somebody that's trying to buy a house, somebody that's looking up business funding, and they would rather go get a business loan or a business credit card with a high annual percentage rate than to save a part of the revenue that's coming into their business. So when you get ready to conduct outreach, you want to go to the trigger event and not the outcome. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to share my screen and I'm going to show you an example of what it is that I mean. And this, I don't think it's my first time teaching it, but if you're new here, maybe the first time that you have actually heard me talk about it, but a reminder is always needed. So for instance, here goes an outcome. So this outcome is emergency funds, right? So everybody that I'm looking at on here on this emergency funds, all of these people are some type of financial coach. You've got Gracefully Simplified. I know her. She's a financial coach for healthcare workers. You've got the Budget Bestie. By her name, you already know that what she does is she helps people develop a budget. This person is looks like she's some sort of lifestyle. She's an intentional money strategist. Essentially, she's a financial coach. So immediately you can see what I mean by when you type in the outcome, you get several people who do the exact same thing that you do. So now let's type in new baby on the way, because that definitely is going to trigger the need. That's definitely going to trigger the need for somebody to get those finances underway, right? So all of these people are people that are announcing they've got a new baby on the way. Here is somebody right here that's talking about becoming a single mom. She said, and it just made me grind harder. A pregnant, single, first time mom who don't play about her baby. So she definitely is in need. This is somebody who's probably accustomed to having more than one income in her household. She's interested. This is probably somebody who thought that when she had a baby she was going to have two incomes to be able to take care of this on. So what you want to do is you want to just acknowledge. She says, I'm becoming a single mom, just made me grind harder. And I might say something right here. uh Even with two incomes, the grind is still real. But I definitely hear what you're saying. about having to grind harder with one income, right? Then you might want to ask a low pressure question or add value, right? Not ask a low pressure question yet. We've acknowledged. Now we want to add value. So you may tell her, did you know that there are auctions, the online auctions that you can go to where you can bid on items for babies that normally cost 50, 60, 70, 80, $100, and you can bid and get those items as low as $6. And then I might ask her a low pressure question. If you could have any amount of money saved by the time that your baby arrives, how much money would you want to have saved? And so she's actually going to comment, right? So she may reply to my comment. When she replies to my comment, I've got the conversation started. We're starting to build a relationship. She's starting to trust me. Then I can pull her into my DMs and I can talk to her about how we can potentially get that money saved for that new baby. So that is a prime example of what I'm talking about when I say you don't want to go to the outcome, you want to go to the trigger event. You want to go where lots of people are hanging out that have the problem that you solve. If you go to the outcome, all you're going to be met with there is lots of people who are solving the problem that you solve. And so, for instance, if I type in here, caregiver coach, right? That's the outcome. These are all people who are caregiver coach, right? She's a caregiver coach. This person talks about caregivers. It says so in her name. She says she's a life coach. She says she's a caregiver. That's what it says all over her name. And she owns this caregiver coach because it's her content all over the place when it comes to caregiver coach. Then when you got this lady right here, she's this coach Barb, and she's talking to you about how to sort the pills. So you see, when you go to caregiver coach, you're met with a lot of people. You're met with a lot of people who do the same exact thing that you do. However, if you go to caregiver life, right? Caregiver lifestyle, let's say that caregiver lifestyle, right? um Now you got a whole lot of people talking about being a caregiver. This lady right here is talking about the day in the life of a caregiver for somebody. She's talking about caregiver burnout. She looks like she's leaving work. She says 3 clients, 1 matcha, and a very long day. 3 clients, lots of driving, lots of cleaning, and counting down. So she's a caregiver. She cares for several people, right? Then you got this person right here. It's been 273 days since I took my auntie in, and I'm still being called my sister's name. Somebody saying, help, I'm tired. So if this is your lane, she's expressing pain, right? She's expressing that she needs some assistance with the particular situation. So what can you do here? Well, the very first thing that you can do here is you can acknowledge it. You can acknowledge how it would make you feel to be called somebody else when you're the person that's making all of the sacrifices. Then you can add value. While she knows her name, maybe her aunt really is forgetting. Maybe she can put on a cute little name tag every day. She can get one of those name tags that the nurses wear in the hospitals, right? And so when she approaches her aunt's already going to be shocked because she's going to be like, why is she walking around the house with this name tag on, right? So you can add value by telling her to wear a name tag, telling her, playing a game where they flip over the pictures and she has to tell her the name of the person, etc. And then you can go ahead and ask a low pressure question. What are some things that she's already tried to help her aunt remember her name, right? So now she's going to respond. Y'all are going to go back and forth in conversation. The relationship is building, the trust is building. Eventually, you can move her over into the DMs and offer her that free tool or that free lead magnet, lead magnet that you have. But again, this is just another example how if you go to the situation, which a situation is caregiver lifestyle, if you go to the situation, you find a lot of people that are facing that situation. Versus if you go to the outcome, you find a lot of people who are doing the same exact thing, that you do. So, moral of the story, instead of going to the outcome, go to the situation, because the situation is where the clients and the customers are hanging out. The outcome is where people that are just like you trying to get a client or a customer are hanging out. So I hope this helps you understand how to use that search bar to conduct outreach. And again, when you find a post that you want to comment on, you're going to use the AAA method, which is acknowledge what they said in the caption, add value, add one piece of high quality value, and then ask a low pressure question, something that doesn't require them to really be vulnerable, something that does not require them to really be vulnerable. You want to try to do about 20 a day. You want to try to do 20 a day, and you can do them on your lunch break. You can do them sitting down eating dinner. You can do it before you go to bed at nighttime, but you want to try to reach out to about 20 people, 20 people a day, because that is how you can begin to generate leads on social media utilizing that search bar. So I really hope that this helps you. I'll be posting this to the higher learning moments, so that you can go back and you can replay it and watch it over and over and over and over and over again. Be blessed.